Hi, it's Ben from the Self-Tape Audition Studio, and I am here today with another VIP video for you. Today, it's Peter Kalos. Thanks for letting us take over your space in here.
No problem, you're welcome.
So tell us a little bit about the Actors Lab. When did it set up?
Basically, in a nutshell, I was born here in Melbourne, and I left in '89.
Yep.
And I went to LA to study there for a year, and I stayed for 20 years.
Wow.
And the main reason why I came back is because my kids, I got 3 kids born in LA, and I figured, I don't want to, if they grow up in LA, I'm stuck in LA. So I came back to Melbourne, and I came here and I thought, oh my God, all I can do with my life at this stage is teach acting, because that's all I've studied. Even though I used to make a living as a script writer and doctor and all that stuff, I could actually teach acting. And I thought, that's all I'm capable of doing. It's like you look at your life and you go, what can I do?
So
I can do this.
Where did you study, like, as an actor? Like, where did you?
Oh, when I first got there, I had a list of people to study with.
Yep.
But I arrived on a Friday night, I still remember this, and Stella Adler was still alive. So Monday night, I went to her class. And I said, forget this list of other people. So I studied at Stella's for quite a few years with her. Then she passed away. Then I went to the Lee Strasberg Institute. Lee was already dead by the time I got there, but I stayed there for quite a few years. Different teachers from there on, you know what I'm saying, right? Yeah. And it was, you study and you find one person that you like and you go, I'll give this one a bit more time. Like, so you call back home, you say one more year, and it becomes 20 years.
Yeah.
So it was a great experience.
And so how long has the Actors Lab been operating in Melbourne?
6 years.
Yeah, fantastic.
6 years, yeah.
And you're at this awesome new space in Brunswick?
We've been here for about a year and a half. And the only reason why we moved here is because the other place in St Kilda, they make apartments out of it or something. And people said, come see this place. And I said, great. And it's nice. We love it here.
Yeah, and from, I've seen just a little bit of the work down at the lab, and it seems to be a very kind of open community, very, very creative environment to do your acting study, training, and build your community. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, I tell people, I try not to run it like a school. It's not like we're students and I'm the teacher. We're actors. It's a space. Come use it. If you want to film something at 3 o'clock in the morning, there is someone here at 3 o'clock in the morning filming something. At the end of the day, I tell people, we're all in this together as an industry. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And if the lab becomes a space people can come and work and study and do whatever they want, I'm like, great. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's why you see people coming and going all day long.
Yeah, cool.
Which is fine with me.
And if you had to sum up the kind of technique or the course or training that you offer at the lab, how would you sum it up?
People call it the method, but primarily it's based on Lee Strasberg's work, which when he started the Actors Studio, it's the same thing as what they do at the studio. At the same time, there's also aspects of what Stella used to teach, which was a lot of character work, they're quite different. At the end of the day, they're 80% the same. And one of my favorite teachers said, no one cares who you use, Lee or Stella. And I try and go by that way. If you come to me and you say, Peter, this works for me, I'll say, great, do it. By the way, try this also, they're just tools. It's not like I'm narrow-minded and say, listen, I'm only doing Lee's work here, or I'm only doing Stella's work. It doesn't matter whose work you use. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying just learn everything. The example I give is, if you're a carpenter, learn all the tools in the shed. You may need some of them. You might need none of them. Depends on the moment, depends on the situation, depends on what's going on in your life at that moment when you're filming. And even the awareness of that is a skill within itself. Because people sit there going, when am I going to use this? I don't know. Depends on what's going on at the time. There are so many variables with our work.
I really love the work ethic that goes on down at the Actors Lab and how it's an ongoing training. Can you talk a little bit about that?
There's people that have been here for 5 or 6 years. One thing people don't quite get about our work, it's a body thing. It's like an athlete. You have to keep training. Like, I'm not here to sell anyone classes, but it's a fact. And in a sense of, acting is in the body. The body changes, life changes, all these kinds of things. And also, if you're competing with someone who does it consistently, they got the upper hand. And there's people at the Actors Studio, for instance, that do this stuff for years. And there's a reason for it. They keep the body awake and alive so you can use it. You know what I'm saying? You can't be an athlete and do nothing for 4 years. And then you go, I'm going to do the Olympics today. I'm like, great, good luck to you. know what I'm saying? It's not going to happen.
Yeah, cool.
So that's why it's a matter of being consistent. Don't come and say, I'm going to cram, 3 months worth of classes, in a week. I'll say, no, you're better off taking 6 months or a year or 2 years consistently rather than some weekend intensive thing, which is, it's great for a weekend. That's about it.
Yeah, cool.
That's a mental thing. People have to understand that. You know what I'm saying? It's long-term growth, and that's everything.
It really seems that all the students that study at the lab are building a community, are building a network of people helping each other out in their projects, theatre, film. Is there anything you want to talk about that?
Well, yeah, in a sense of, as much as I like to fly the banner of the lab, which I say, hey man, we're the lab and this is what we do, I always tell people, as I said earlier, we are all one film community. And it's in our best interest for all of us across the board to think of that. If I'm on a film and you're non-lab, I say, people, who cares? Make it work. Do you know what I'm saying? Share the knowledge, right? And be open about it. Say, try this, try that. Because if we're on a film and there's 100 people working on that film, it's in everyone's interest to make this particular project better. Not to think, well, I work differently, or I don't like this, or I don't like that. Hey, you're on this film. This is your product now. It doesn't matter if you're a gaffer, or a best boy, or a grip, whatever it is, or an actor, or even if you got one line. At the end of the day, it's your project. So if you think like that, then your best interest is to make that particular project better. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that involves all of us as a community across Melbourne. LA has that. LA has it because they make a lot of movies there, and everyone's there for the industry. And if you turn up with the attitude of, no, I don't know, they're going to get rid of you in a split second.
Yeah, fantastic. Peter, thank you so much for your time today. And stay tuned for more videos from the Self-Tape Audition Studio.